bizarre story out of Houston. 3 teen girls are now in jail, accused of trying to kill their mom, all because she turned off their home Wi-Fi. Investigators say the sisters grabbed kitchen knives and chased their mom through the house and into the street. Authorities say one of the girls hit the mom with a brick. The grandmother stepped in and was knocked down while trying to stop it. Amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. The girls, who were 14, 15, and 16 years old, were charged with aggravated assault.
A disturbing story in Montgomery County. A man is facing murder charges after police say he admitted to killing his 87-year-old grandmother. Spencer Dylan Hamilton turned himself in yesterday. Investigators say he hid in his grandmother's bedroom closet before attacking her. Our Lionel Donovan is in Potomac tonight with the new details we are learning.
Court documents allege a brutal assault against Pauline Titus Dillon by her own grandson, 27-year-old Spencer Hamilton. Now, just as a word of warning, some of the details in this case may be disturbing for some of our viewers. Potomac residents near Tribunal Lane are still in shock after learning one of their neighbors was killed Sunday.
This neighborhood is the last place you would expect for something like this to happen.
Court documents say 27-year-old Spencer Hamilton turned himself in to Rockville City Police Sunday morning, claiming he killed his grandmother, 87-year-old Pauline Titus Dillon. When Montgomery County police officers went to Titus Dillon's home, they found her dead in her home. Hamilton allegedly told investigators he waited in his grandmother's closet earlier that day. Then at around 4:30 a.m., when his grandmother left the bathroom, he sprang out, repeatedly stabbing and punching his grandmother in the back and head, and then strangled her with his bare hands. After that, the court documents say Hamilton tried to clean up the scene and fled, taking her credit card, cell phone, and laptop. Pastor Titus Young described Titus Dillon as a friendly woman and hoped to get to know her better before this tragedy occurred.
I think it must have been about a week or so ago. We saw her walk in and my wife was like, let's just reach out and let's invite her to church because we're having a program happening. But we couldn't get her, and yesterday when we saw the police and everything else, we were just fearing the worst.
Pastor Young says he's been living in this community for more than 5 years. While he still says he feels safe living here, Sunday's homicide has left his family shaken.
We're just praying for the neighborhood. Actually, yesterday in the afternoon, my family and I, we just went, as we do, walking on the streets and just praying for the neighborhood, just praying that something like this doesn't happen again in a community where we live in.
Hamilton is still in custody, and before bail was even considered today, the court ordered an evaluation for Spencer's mental state before moving forward. He'll be back in court April 7th. From downtown Rockville, Lionel Donovan.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Kol holayim la, Abanawa Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rekat Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Micah chapter 7 verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. And this is a pure cut example of what I just read. Okay, having enemies in your own household. Okay, having your 3 offspring that you literally pushed out of your quiver, out of your reproductive organ, to have them get upset and mad about Wi-Fi, whether you disconnected through the company or unplugged it, or you didn't give them the password, whatever it was, man. To have your children literally grab knives and chase you around the house and chase you outside, and then to literally one of your children pick up a brick and bust your ass upside the head. Yo, that's diabolical, man. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to increase in these times, man. Because we're going through these stages of perilous times, man. Okay? And you have a Jake that literally hid in a closet and jumped out like he was the boogeyman or something, and punched and stabbed his grandmother. Like, what did grandma do so bad to make you want to take her life, to premeditate that shit? Okay, because that was thought of. He calculated how he was going to do it. So what made you want to take grandma out? Did grandma, she didn't make your favorite breakfast, your favorite dinner? Grandma forgot to grab you some Sour Patch Kids on the way from home from church? I mean, what was it? God, goodness gracious. Micah 7 verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. So you can't even trust the own people under your roof. You can't even trust the own people that you live with, that you provide, that you protect, okay, that you love. Love doesn't exist in this society, man. Okay, as it says in the book of St. Matthew 24 verse 12, the love of many shall wax cold, man. And we see it. And again, it's amplifying every single day, man. Let's grab this. Let's go to Exodus. Okay, because there's a judgment for those that put their hands on their parents, man. And your grandparents is your parents. Okay? That's Exodus 21. And let's jump to verse 15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. Okay, again, Exodus 21 verse 15. And he that smiteth, and that word smiteth is hit, okay, harm. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. So that's going to be the recompense. That's going to be the judgment for those that do stuff like this, man. And damn well the Jake, at the end of the day, everything is Salakia. At the end of the day, everything is ordained and commanded by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah first and foremost. It's all judgment that's being brought forth and being executed and being commanded. Okay, but we know that there's going to be a judgment for the little hyenas, because I'm pretty sure those are Israelite kids, man. That sounds like some Israelite kid shit, man. Okay. Because if it was Edomites, the Edomite woman would have got executed. Okay, but for your kids to literally do stuff like this, it's against the laws, man. You're supposed to, those are part of the first 10 commandments. You're supposed to honor and respect your parents, man. And you're not honoring and respecting your parents by being rebellious, disobedient, attempting to cause harm upon them, and also putting them to death. And again, your grandparents are your parents. Okay? Period, man. So for you to do what you have done, the only judgment for that is death. There's no, let's talk about it. Let's bargain. Let's see what we can agree at. Let's meet in the middle. It's none of that nonsense, man. No, according to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you have and must and will and shall be put to death. And furthermore, you're supposed to be stoned. Okay? Period, man. But let's continue, because I made a Salakia, damn brain fart, Satan, man. I made a reference to a law, so let's grab that in the New Testament. This is Ephesians chapter 6. I'm gonna read verses 1 to 3. Children, obey your parents in Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for this is right. So you're supposed to obey your parents, point blank, period. There's no bargaining. There's no, well, this is how I feel, mom. This is how I feel, dad. No, shut the fuck up. Your kids. Okay? Your kids. You're supposed to be listening to what your parents state and say and follow their rules, man. And if the mother of those 3 girls felt the need to disconnect again, whether she called the company and had them disconnected, or whether she unplugged it, or whether she changed the password, she had the right to do that. She's paying the bills. She's providing shelter. She's providing clothes, shoes, drawers on your ass, food in your belly, man. Okay? So it must have been a reason, or either she couldn't afford it at the time, you know, money's getting tight in this society, man. Everybody's struggling, man. And so it just shows you the entitlement of children. And then also, too, I don't know exactly the backstory behind this dude, because this dude looks like a fucking psycho, man. You can tell by his mugshot that he has some type of mental disorder, which we know the first thing is the demonic demons that's on these people. Okay, but you can tell by looking at this cat that he has some type of mental disorder. Okay, because again, I don't know what grandma did. I don't know if grandma again, you know, didn't buy him some Sour Patch Kids, some Skittles, Starburst from the store or something, or you know, he didn't feel love. I don't know what it was, man. But to literally premeditate and hide in a fucking closet and then hop out again like you want a movie Scream and shit and punch and stab your grandma is just nasty work, man. She already, what, 87? But also, too, we know everything is of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, he's causing that division. He's stirring up that strife. Okay, he's causing a more rebellion to be in the midst in Babylon the Great, man. Okay, because everybody's about to go through a lot of grievous, horrific times, man. A lot of sufferings, man. Okay, Ephesians 6 verse 1. Children, obey your parents in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, for this is right. Honor thy father and thy mother, which is the first commandment with promise. And they don't honor, damn sure not the father. The father is highly disrespected here in this society, especially amongst you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians. You know, the main ones that get disrespected the most, you know, is mainly Judah. Okay, Yahudah. Okay, the so-called blacks, African Americans, man. That's the main tribe of fathers that literally get disrespected. Okay, and you also have, you know, in all tribes, you know, piece of shit men, just like you have piece of shit women. Okay, but you know, the main ones that get that get any type of acknowledgement and reverence is the women. You know, the women is you know, as you always see in these award shows and everything else. What does Jake and the women say? I want to thank my mama. If it wasn't for my mama, if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for this, there's never no acknowledgement of the father. When you used to literally be housed in your father's scrotum. Okay, your first house, your first hedge, your first shelter was your father's scrotum. If your father didn't bust into your mother, okay, and the Lord, you know, granted you to be brought forth, you wouldn't be here. Your father could have busted a napkin, he could have busted on your mom's ass or in her mouth. And you know, Salakia to say it like that, but it's the truth. Okay? So there's no acknowledgement, honor, reverence of the father, man. Verse 3, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. So why do you think a lot of these kids, amongst other reasons, are getting executed by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? They have no respect, no acknowledgement, no obedience to their parents, man. Highly rebellious, highly disobedient, want to do what they want to do. Okay, matter of fact, let's grab this. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's prove what I just said. Isaiah chapter 3. And let's go straight to the point. Verse 5. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. And the child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient. Okay, and that's the main point we want right there. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient. Okay, who's the ancient? Your elders, your father, your mothers, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents. Okay, you see how these children, these fucking monsters, these hooligans, these nigglets, act against their parents, act against their elders, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles. No respect. Okay, all disrespect. Okay, out here being rambunctious, you know, out of control, unstable, man. Because a lot of these kids, you know, with them acting the way they act, you know, they know that they have the ability to call what? CPS, 911. Because a lot of these kids haven't gone through what we went through. You know, we got our asses whipped. You know, I got my ass whooped with a lot of stuff. Shoes, hangers, switches, extension cords, pans, fists. Okay, what else? Irons. Shit, if I can't think of, but everything, anything that could be reached, whatever. Picture frames. Okay, bottles, all types of stuff, man. You know that you getting your ass whooped. You know, put you in line in life, man. You know, never served time in jail. I could say I've been to processing in jail, but I've never served time. So like I haven't served time in jail. Okay, those ass whoopings saved me, and those ass whoopings made me think about things I did in life before I did them. Okay, if that makes sense to y'all. But again, the children shall behave himself proudly against the aged. Again, you got these little girls grabbing fucking kitchen knives because the mom, again, whether she turned it off, unplugged it, changed the password, or couldn't afford it, turned off the internet, the Wi-Fi. All hell broke loose. And then you, it's just so funny, man. Salakia, man. I just could imagine this shit. And you got one of these little monsters, these little hyenas picking up a brick and then clocking moms inside the goddamn head. And grandma trying to stop it, and she pushing grandma down like, move, bitch. Madness, man. But let's continue, niggas. I also quoted something else. I want to grab that. 2 Timothy chapter 3, starting off at verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. And again, those perilous times are going to be times of affliction, times of oppression, times of vexation, man. Okay, times of sufferings, man. Hardship. Okay, that comfortable lifestyle that you have had in Babylon the Great. Okay, those no worries that you have had is obsolete. Okay, now you're going to be worried. Now you're going to be penny pinching. Now you're going to be completely plagued in your mind, man. Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boosters, so like your boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And as you see, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. We didn't have internet when I was growing up. As a matter of fact, when I was growing up, internet was just being established. I remember the computer when you had to plug it up to the goddamn phone. When you what was it called, dial up or something like that, dial or something. It's called something. You had to plug it up to the wall where the phone was at. I remember the first computer, that big ass screen. Okay, so you know the internet was literally being manufactured and presented when I was growing up. You know, we didn't have, you know, internet like that when I was growing up until like, you know, 2000. That's when it really started hitting, you know, cell phones and all that stuff. You know, I remember having a damn pager. You know, I remember having pages and giving, you know, my partners and my females, you know, certain codes to put in. You know, instead of you putting your number, you know, if you at home, put this code. I know to call you at home. But if you ain't at home, put the number with the code in. You know, I remember pages, man. You know, we had to actually look up information, man. We didn't have Google. Okay, but let's continue. Because again, man, you know, they proud, disobedient to their parents, and you know the Lord is showing you this, man. Let's grab it, because these kids are fucking monsters, man. 2 Esdras chapter 5, verse 8. There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. And we saw that when you know the VID-19 came out. You saw animals in the streets and shit. And, you know, you also saw videos on the news where you had animals in the streets in New York. That's coming back heavy in these days to come, man. That's going to be back real heavy, man. You're going to see animals, you know, walking the streets, man. Not in the woods, not in the forest, you know, as whatever you want to call it. Okay, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Now we know that that's talking about when it says menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, talking about kids that's deformed with born with defects and stuff like that. But also too, as we know and as we see, you know, kids with mental defects. Okay, these wild, savage beasts, man. Okay, because a lot of these kids are fucking monsters, man. You know, I'm a savage, all that, man. You know, look how they present themselves. Look how they conduct themselves in society, man. Look how they think. You know, and it's just not, you know, it's just not the adults, it's the kids too, because who's teaching the damn kids? These adults, man. These adults are teaching the damn kids, man. Okay, and they're just literally being prepped and ripened for destruction, for judgment, man. That's literally what's going to happen, man. They're going to be prepared for judgment. They're literally just waiting to get judged by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, because they're demonic little demons, man. Okay, again, man, you know, you got kids that's not grateful for what their parents are able to provide for them, and you get mad over Wi-Fi and trying to take your mom out. And then you got this bug out hiding in a damn closet to take out his grandma, man. And there's other stuff that's being done that we haven't seen just yet. This ain't new. This ain't, you know, just happening now. This has been happening. Okay, but let's continue. Let's go to 2 Peter, to back up what I just said. You know, I keep on quoting things, so let's go ahead and get it. Okay, let's go ahead and get it. 2 Peter chapter 2. I think it's right here. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 12. But these are natural brute beasts, and these kids, these children, these people are natural brute beasts, savages, unstable creatures. Okay, a bunch of damn maniacs. Okay, menaces to society, man. Okay, which actually they learned it from the first menace to society, one that runs the world. Okay, but they have to be executed, man. But these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. Speak evil of the things they understand not, because things have to be their way. Okay, they want things to go how they see fit. They don't want to take heed to instruction, order. Okay, to submit to authority. Especially these damn kids, man. As you see, they can't submit to instructions, take heed to the authority of their parents. Understand the rules. They like fuck you, mom, and your rules. Okay, that's literally what they, you know, more than likely probably said verbally and also through their actions. So they speak evil of the things that they don't understand because they want to do things their way. They don't want to, again, take heed and submit to authority and follow the rules that's been given to them by their superiors, their elders, their parents. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 12. But these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. Speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And again, that's going to be the end game, man. The Lord's going to bring a grievous, horrific, harsh judgment upon these wicked ass kids, man. And as a matter of fact, let's close out with that. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9, man. Because the Lord said he's not going to show no pity. He's not going to show no mercy. None of that, man. So let's close out there. Okay, so this is Ezekiel chapter 9. I'm going to start off at verse 4. And Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So that's the prophets. Okay, that's the ones that are of the 1/3 out of one Rat Zah, that's crying and sending up supplications for all the abominations that we encounter every day that we live in the midst. Okay, because this captivity is vexing us, and we are literally crying out to our Heavenly Father and reminding him through these precepts, through his words of what he said he shall do for us and what he said he will bring forth. Continuing on, verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite, listen, and smite, destroy. Okay, woe, destruction, take out, execute, slay, delete. Let not your eye spare, so don't spare none of these wicked ass little nigglets, little hyenas, these boss bitches, these wicked young niggas, these big old niggas. Don't spare none of them. Okay, they're a lump of leaven. Okay, their morals and their conduct is fucked up. They have to be purged from my holy sanctuary. Okay, I'm only going to preserve and protect and strengthen and increase my elect. Okay, let not your eye spare, nor have pity. Don't have pity. The Lord is saying don't have pity. I don't care if they're 6 months old, a day old, 6 years old, 10, 12, 25, 45, 82. I don't care. Okay, the Lord's judgments are righteous, just, and balanced altogether. Neither have ye pity. Slay utterly, slay, destroy, shed their blood. Okay, send them back to me, the spiritual realm. Okay, slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children and women. Okay, that's it. That's all we need. And that's going to be the judgment of these little hyenas, these little YNs, these big YNs, these boss sluts, okay, these self-willed dogs, these piece of shit niggas, and Salaki, I gotta say it how it is, all those that are filthy, that love this society, that are disobedient, rebellious to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and want to do their own thing. Okay, and we're going to see more of this, man. Kids disrespecting their parents, whether it be their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Okay, it's only going to increase in these days to come, man. But I don't want to rock to Zah. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true, sincere Aki and Wa Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Kol Holayim La, Abanawa Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakat Kwadash. Watha Wada Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakat Kwadash, for putting the spirit on me, my elder apostles, elder bishops, elders, brothers on down, for doing these epistles to enlighten you, to inform you, to edify you, and uplift you through the power and spirit and words of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. May the blessing and election and protection be upon you and your household. I don't want to rot to Zah into the next one. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.